Hello everybody, it's Ken Faulkner. Finally getting back to a video. I got my knives. It's the Faulkner 5. We're getting through them, guys. This one really should be a short one. There's no reason why it should be 30 minutes long or anything crazy like that. I'm on week 3. Week 3 of the Faulkner 5. If you missed what that's all about, I picked 5 knives to kind of get me through till Blade Show West comes up, because I'm not buying knives. Still haven't done it. I'm holding out, and I'm trying something to kind of get me through it. So I got these 5 knives, and this was first week, second week. This is the one I selected for the third week. These ones will be coming up, so I'm going to move these guys out of the way, and we'll be talking about those guys later. These are the first 3. I've already kind of went over the Devo Stout and how it just really performed well. I really found out that carrying a knife every day as the primary carry for a whole week is a different kind of experience, because I normally am switching out all the time. And this one really performed well. I just grew to like it even more. No real negatives to it, other than I am not as big of a fan of a knife that doesn't have a point on it. Just aesthetically, I mean, as far as most of the things that I do, this works really well, and it performed all the tasks that I wanted. But other than that, yeah, this was a really good knife for the whole week. The next one was the BRS Evolve Eon, and I carried it last week, and you can kind of see it's almost kind of getting like a little patina-ish kind of thing. It's getting a little marked up from use, and I'm not totally unhappy about that. It kind of has that Boba Fettish kind of color to it. You see a lot of knives that you can buy. I think Microtech has one that have that kind of greenish but worn, comes worn. This one didn't come that way, but it's starting to wear as it goes, and it's almost kind of like a cool sort of look. Rather than getting unhappy about it, I kind of am enjoying that. Now this one over the week, it does everything that I want it to do. You know, what a knife, a primary carry that I have. But there's a couple things about it that I realized that I missed from carrying this all week long. One of the things is the fidgetability of having a middle finger flick that you can do. It's got a hole there, but it's just not in the right place, and it's not big enough and not enough access to get a flick on it. I did actually kind of learn how to do like a little pinch on the blade at the top and do a slow roll. But knives are tools. They're meant to cut. But I know now, especially after this week, that I really like to fidget with knives. I realize it even more so than ever before. And so that was one thing that I missed about it. Another thing about this particular one, and you know, I hear a lot of people talking about the thickness behind the edge, and I never really paid too much attention to it. I'm not like a hardcore sharpener. I'm not like worried about having everything being able to just like laser beam through sheets of paper. But I noticed over the week that this one did not cut as well. And you can kind of see, I could see, just by looking at the 3 of these guys next to each other, that there's just that much more thickness to this one. I actually had a pair of calipers that the battery's like almost dead on, so I didn't bring it out for the video. But this one is actually about 0.15 of an inch thick, so 150 thousandths, and these two are about 130 thousandths. So there's that slight difference, but I can visually see that. I don't know if you can catch that on the camera. And it has an impact on the way this blade is not the tallest blade in the world, but as it comes down, it's a flat grind, so it comes down according to how much room it has here, from the thickness here to the thickness here, and behind the edge it's definitely a little thicker. So what I did at the end of the week is just today I pulled out my sharpener. I don't really do, I'm not like a guy that sharpens as soon as it gets slightly dull. Usually it's once I can't cut anything off my any hairs off my arm, I'll cut it. There you go. There's a couple hairs on it, and I'll sharpen it up and get it hair popping again. And I did that with this one, and it is definitely better. But what I did is then I took it and I did a paper cut with this one, and the one I picked for next week, which is the Ari from Kalem Knife Designs, I believe. And I cut paper with both of them. This one I haven't sharpened it maybe since I bought it. This one I just freshly sharpened, and they were pretty close, but the Ari was actually slightly sharper as far as going through paper. Now, as far as other cutting tasks, I try to do a lot of different things. Food prep, a little gardening type stuff. I'm always doing a barbecue on the weekend, and I'm doing some curls on some fat wood and striking a ferro rod to get it started. And I did notice that it did do the curls, but the curls were a little thick, so it made it a little bit harder to actually get the fire going. So all these kind of things, I mean, even though it functions well and it cuts everything I want it to cut, there is much more, for me, a noticeability of that thickness behind the edge. So that's kind of become a little bit more apparent in this little exercise. So that was interesting, but still, I really like this knife. And the great thing, probably one of my favorite things about it, is the tip. You see the way it tapers down here at the end? That's a great tip for stabbing. So if I want to cut paper, I can cut into it by stabbing and slicing, and it works really well for that. Opening boxes and all that, using that tip for that, it's excellent for that. So anyway, just an interesting little side effect of this little experiment I'm doing. Now, this is the Kalem Blade Works. I have to get that right. I have to look that up. Anyway, this is my only knife from that company, so I'm not as familiar with the name. It doesn't just come up off the top of my head. But this one, I carried it today, the first day of the Faulkner 5 number 3, and boy, just fidgeting with this thing. It's got the front flipper, works great. It can come over the top like that, works great. And it's got that great hole deployment. This thing is really designed for fidget. So there was this stark contrast between the Elijah Isham design with flipper only and this one. Although, one more thing I have to say about this knife, it is a solid and well-built knife. So I don't know where BRS, who they have OEM their knives, but the fit and finish on this thing is excellent. It may have something to do with the integral design, but it just feels so solid, and I really like that. So that's another big plus to that knife. This one, I think I'm going to enjoy it this week. See how it goes. It's very slicey. I'll probably sharpen it up at the end of the week and just see, and then maybe I'll do a little comparison between these two, and I'll let you know. I'll let you know when it comes down to week number 4 how this one did and which one I picked for Faulkner 5 number 4. So that's it. I kept it under 10. You guys have a good one, and I also am going to be doing that giveaway. I'm just kind of being my usual putting things off thing, but I'll get to it. Hopefully by this weekend I'll be announcing that. So keep an eye out, and I will talk to you later.